So I bought one of these kayo, whatever you want to call it, TT140s. They're just basically Honda clones. That's about it. A little bigger than a 125 to a degree. I think it's like a inch height difference. I was gonna kind of do like a review on it, but I figured I'd run it around and do some riding on it before I actually gave any opinions. I'm not a bike dude, never claimed to be, but I picked one of these up. They're fairly, I guess, decent for what they are. Everybody says they're a Honda clone, and they're pretty much designed by somebody who worked for Honda or whatever the deal is. But I'm gonna do the first oil change on it, and figured that I would kind of do like a little how-to when you first oil change. I've probably put about like 5 hours on it. I figured that would be sufficient. Go a little extra than what they tell you to, but probably put about 5 hours on it, and picked up everything that I need to do the oil change. But we're gonna sit here and we're gonna go over it, and I'm gonna try to give you a little step-by-step on how to do the oil change here. But if you got one of these, then you know they're pretty decent for what they are, for being little Chinese knockoffs. I mean, these could be a lot worse. Like, usually they feel janky and real shaky, and everything pretty much shakes apart as soon as you start riding on it. I've had to tweak with it a little bit. Clutch cable loosened up on me like 2 hours into riding, and I did notice some of the spokes on the rims there kind of needed to be tightened a little bit, so gave them a little tightening. And after I go over this oil change, I'm probably going to try to hit everything with a socket or a screwdriver, whatever I can get on, just to make sure everything's locked down like it's supposed to be, and that nothing's rattling apart on me. But I guess here we go. We get in on the first oil change. Its break-in period is well over with, so I'm gonna try to do this the best I can, being one-handed here. But pretty much that's your dipstick. That's how you check, the oil levels and all of that. Underneath it here, I don't know if you could see it right in between there. Right here is a 17 mil socket. I mean a bolt, 17 mil bolt. That's your drain. We're gonna drop this bucket underneath of here, catch anything that comes out. And I work in O'Reilly, so I get a discount on some of the name brand stuff, so I figured I'd get the Mobile One, and we're gonna put that in there for its first oil change and try to keep everything going like it's supposed to. So after you break it loose and you get it loose enough, you want to just get up under here, kind of work it by hand. I mean, you could do it with the socket, but it just makes a mess. And let that drain out. Now what I did too is, before I went ahead and did this, I went and rode it around for like 20 minutes just to loosen up that oil a little bit. Make sure that everything comes out and it all comes out like it's supposed to. But as soon as this gets done draining, we're gonna plug it back up, add some oil to it, and run it around for a minute and get that fresh oil through it. And pretty much when it's done draining, you just want to get that plug back up in there, give it a good little snug. You don't want to overdo it because you will strip the threads out. I'm sure it's not the best metals that they're using. And make sure you clean up everything. Don't let oil get all over everything, make it all nasty. And then you want to come up here and you want to pop the plug. Technically, I probably should have popped the plug when I drained the oil out of it, but that's neither here nor there. And then you want to make sure you use the right kind of oil, put the right amount in there, and then after you get everything tightened up, oil levels where they're supposed to be. Make sure you're definitely using the right oil. Make sure everything's snugged up, cleaned up. Try to keep your machines clean. I know they're meant to get dirty, but they do appreciate staying clean. And then just make sure all your tools are accounted for. Definitely don't want to be losing those sockets. Make sure your oil is disposed of properly. You can pretty much drop oil off at any Advanced Auto, O'Reilly's, AutoZone, your local parts store. A lot of places recycle oil. But yeah, definitely make sure everything gets put away. Don't be a slob.